start over.
All right. How's it going, guys? I am Joseph Bramante with Triarch Properties.
And I'm Robert Mitchell with Triarch Construction.
We're going to give you guys a quick walkthrough of a property that we're currently renovating. We just got our test units done, so a lot of exciting stuff to show you. So we're here at the very entrance, and we're just going to give you a walkthrough of what's going on. So what are we doing here, Robert? I know we had talked about widening this gate. We're going to put it's a double entrance gate here. Right now we have a single entrance.
We're going to widen the gate. We're also going to widen the driveway approach. So
right.
Two cars can come in, a car can come in, a car can come out at the same time. As far as the drive-by appeal, we're going to be running a horizontal fence, wood fence at the top along the Pine Knot side and the property side to enhance the look.
Right. And I think we're doing something here as well, right on the driveway, but we got that sewer line there, or we got that manhole there.
Yeah, so we're gonna, when we widen the driveway approach, we're probably gonna have to come back here more and put some directional bollards to separate the traffic. Okay, well, cool.
What are we gonna do with the positioning of this? We're gonna put like a...
Yeah, there'll be a median in the middle. So we've installed almost all of the black vinyl windows, which enhance the look on the property. Once we paint the brick and paint the property, they're really going to stand out with the light gray color that we think she's going to choose.
The designer, yeah. What's going on with the boiler room?
The boiler room is going to be completely rebuilt. We're waiting on the boiler design to come back, and it'll look completely different instead of a little shack in the middle.
Gotcha. So what are you thinking here? I know we're talking about doing the vertical on the accent piece on the roof there. You know, from this angle, you still can't see the AC, so I'd almost want to put it all the way down. Because I mean, is it costing that much to put it?
The cost wouldn't be that much more on the two runs here to make a difference at all. So we'll probably change it to that.
Okay.
Because when you do the drive-through, when you're driving in from there, I keep walking
from here. Yeah, from here you can't see it, but
I keep walking from here, and that's when I look up. Oh yeah, it's not there. So
right.
And then we're gonna paint the underside of all the carports and all the metal on there. It's gonna enhance the look and give it a value add on being able to charge.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We also eliminated a lot of covered parking. There was so much covered parking.
Yeah, I remember that.
Charged extra because everybody had covered parking for free. So now we have a limited number of spaces.
Plus, it really opened up the area because it was, you walked in, it was very closed in. Now it's a lot more open. This will be a fun little project once we get this started. So we've got a big, like basically big kitchen, I don't know, recreational area. And was like 2,400 square feet?
Yeah. Yeah, about 2,400 square feet. That's going to be the fun project where we get to make 2 to 3 units out of it. That'll be completely redesigned and brand new on a layout that's real open and friendly, so it'll look really good.
But we'll keep that till the very end, just in case we have any overages and we have to scrap it. De-scoping's something that happens sometimes.
So we had 22 units that got water in them the day that they closed on the property. So we had to do a 2-foot cutout, dry the units out. You'll notice that the kitchens were really closed off. When you walk back here.
Also know there's no fixtures in the living rooms or anything.
Yeah, there's no light fixtures in the ceiling.
The ceiling has that hideous texture to it. And man, it just feels very, very tiny in here. You got a closet there, closet there. I guess people had a lot of clothes back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we have the same closet space in the new units. There's just one unit of closet.
One bigger one.
We could get our washer and dryers in there.
Better use of the space. So.
And then the 1980s 12x12 tiles going away, so it's really good.
So what are we ripping this tile up, or what's going on?
We're floating over it and laying the vinyl over it. The cost to rip the tile up is almost the same as putting new floor down, and then we still have to float the floor anyway, so we're just floating right over the top of it and running the vinyl plank over.
Absolutely. So we're walking through 2 test units today, and the reason we have 2 is because the designer gives you different looks. Also, there's 2 different budget points for these 2 test points, so we're looking to see which one makes the most sense for us. Do we want to spend more in these certain areas, get these certain finishes, and et cetera, or do we want to pull back and we feel like it's good enough with the cheaper finish and hit our budget. So basically, this unit here is out of budget. It's about $400, about $400
more
per unit out of budget. It's going to be almost 100 grand total for the whole project. And this unit is in budget for the most part.
One of the first things we ran across that got into our contingency was when we were changing the doors. When they built this property, they didn't put any brick lintels. They custom built all the door jambs. They were built with 2x8s. So we had to frame out to get new style doors to fit, cut the brick back to put an actual brick lintel in to support the bricks from falling down when people walk in.
Yeah, that was an unplanned expense. And it's one of those things that we walked in all these units and you just never noticed that it was just a couple inches smaller.
Yeah, a couple inches smaller and no brick lintel. I mean, it's something you don't notice at all.
Yeah. So here we've got a nice gray floor. The floors in these two units are different. Same price, just different. This one's not a huge fan of. I actually prefer.
The floor color over there.
Yeah, I like the floor color over there, but we'll see that in a second. So here we've got gray cabinets with white counters, and what is this, bronze?
Yeah, oil bronze fixtures. One of the biggest things you'll notice when you walk in here is that this is the exact unit we showed you guys that was unfinished. We opened everything up.
Yeah.
You have a seated island where you can have breakfast at. You can have multi-use here. You have your sink, your fixtures, everything is opened up because a real open floor plan, which is what everybody's looking for today,
right,
versus the closed, chopped up apartments of the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, it really feels a lot bigger. Same exact footprint, but much bigger floor plan. I really like these cabinets though. I mean, these are solid. These aren't prefab cabinets. And you got the soft close, which is, man.
100% wood cabinets with oven painted finish on there, so it's smooth. You don't have any veneer, any laminate on top of them. So where you would have cabinets that were laminated veneer before, when you get moisture from cooking or hot water, over time it would take away the veneer from the particle board underneath, and then water would get in there, and then they start splitting. And this is a much better product.
Which is part of the thing that we look at when we do these big rehabs is, there's the aesthetic value, but then there's also the long-term operational. Okay, what's this going to be like on a turn?
We talk about that when we're looking at all the properties.
Yeah.
Like, how long are you going to hold the property for? What are we looking to do? And that way we know what kind of products to buy. Versus if you're going to hold the property for 3 years, you don't want to buy this great a cabinet. If you're going to hold the property for 7 to 10 years, you definitely want something that's going to last a lifetime.
And it also depends on the clientele you're going after. This is, we're increasing rent almost $500 a unit here, so it's a different profile. I like this single basin sink here, very modern. I am a fan of this fixture, although there is some questions on the maintenance side. What's it going to be like on a turn, and how will it hold up over time?
Yeah, and long term, what we worry about are kids grabbing it, doing this, and then the expense of just replacing it versus a conventional one that doesn't have the spring-loaded wand. And
this will be interesting, how, this.
I think this is going to be like a value add. You can spray the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you charge extra for the ones where you can spray the kids when they're not acting right. Oh, the ovens and ranges. Instead of only having 4 areas to cook on top, you also have your warmer in the center, which is something that's really good feature on there.
I like that. And I like the glass top. Typically electric, you just have those old coil burners, and man, they look ugly.
No, I mean, with the glass tops, our biggest thing is you have to clean them, and there's a certain cleaner that you use with them that actually keep them clean. So that's going to be one of those things to be determined if they're really good. Probably when we get done with these first set of people moving in, moving out, while we're still working on the next properties,
right?
To see if we're going to stick with that or go back with the coils.
I think
it looks great.
Yeah, and I've lived in properties that have this, a lot of the higher end properties, so I think it'll be fine. Microwave vent hood here.
Yeah,
I like it. It's very nice.
It's ductless, so we didn't have to run ducts up and have another cabinet up here that would have just looked silly.
We're going to be switching these doors, I think, right?
No. We just want to make it hard for people to eat and help them watch their weight.
Yeah, we're going to be switching the doors. Dishwasher.
The 2-inch faux wood vertical blinds, they just look way better than 1-inch blinds, and they last longer.
Yeah,
They
that's
stand up better to the heat. They don't start bending.
That's rehab 101, man. I think like 2-inch faux blinds, vinyl plank flooring, that's every guy's kind of go-to.
And we went even further by putting these low E windows in, which are going to be really energy efficient. They look great from the outside, but they also will take the heat better than the single pane windows. So if you're sitting here or standing here, you're not going to feel the summer heat versus the old single pane windows. It's a great feature and a great add that we did to these.
And windows are one of the things that you don't really get any pop for, but it'll really date a property. You know, you walk. We could have done this whole thing, and if we kept those same aluminum windows, it would have been a harder sell versus this is. And even that, so I think we originally quoted white, right?
We were going to do white vinyl.
We did white, and we'd made kind of a late change, which is never good, and we switched to black. Same manufacturer, same everything, just different color. Cost us $150,000 more just by changing color. Yeah, because it's popular, it's trendy. So that was, in a way, that was a good sign because you're going with something that is kind of in the, in the trend.
Yeah, definitely.
Not a fan of that light. What is it? Looks like we have speakers here. What's going on with this?
Joe, we took that out of your apartment. It's really hard for us as construction guys to pick out fixtures, and Keith, the director of operations, was left to pick that out, and I don't know where that came from.
We're going to tell Keith to stick to his day job.
Yeah, it actually doesn't go with anything. Everything else is sleek lines and modern, and this looks like.
But that's why these are test units, though. So
yeah, they look like opera light. You know, at the theater, like probably that's what they look like.
And so we've got two separate lights here, right? So again, these are test units, so we're trying out different fixtures to see which ones that we like, which ones we don't like. You can look at it in a magazine, that's fine, but until you see it in person and touch it and see how it fits in with everything else, it's hard to say. So we got this, I like that one over there, it's more lower profile. One of the things with these old properties that you can't get around is the roof height, the ceiling height. What are we at, 8 feet?
8 feet.
8 feet here. Most of the new properties are at 9, 10 feet, and it's the first thing that you feel when you walk into a unit. And I say feel because most people don't realize that they don't know why the room looks bigger. They just, it's the same square footage, but it just feels bigger. And it's because the ceiling is that extra foot high. So we can't do anything about that, but what we can do is we can either go with recessed lighting or low profile lighting. So we did look at some can lights in here. Those were a bit out of budget, so we decided not to and go with this, but we still have a low profile light here. And I think of these two, my favorite is gonna be that low profile over there.
The slim ones. A couple of the big things that I want to know, when we were changing, the wall in the kitchen stopped about here. But with us doing the 9-inch overhang, for the bar top, the door was actually all the way up against her. So we had to reframe and move the door over, as well as move the HVAC duct over and build a new fur down in the bedroom in order to make this work, because this would have been protruding into the door 9 inches, and moving in and out there would have been a real pain. And that was another thing that we did not plan for.
Yeah, absolutely. Which one of those is the water meter? Is it that hole or that hole?
This hole was put in here yesterday because we had a leak. We had to fix. That hole was put in there yesterday. So this is going to be, we got one shut-off valve here and one shut-off valve there. Because of where the pipes,
because of where the pipes run.
Where the pipes came into the old unit without re-plumbing all the feed pipe coming through would be it would have been a really big cost, but we'll still have the ability to get to the sub-meters and turn the apartment, shut the water off per apartment now versus having to shut the whole property down just to do one plumbing repair.
So one of the things that we're doing here that is a first for us is actually replumbing the whole property, and doing that for a couple of reasons. One, we're adding washer and dryer, this is the new washer and dryer room. But also one of the biggest things that residents will notice, especially when they move into an older renovated property, it looks all nice and beautiful and they're all excited to move in. Then they move here, and if they don't have good water pressure, they're that unit will turn in a year and they'll be out of there, and you'll have high turnover, and it's just gonna be a nightmare. Plus, we're spending all this money to make this so nice, And then we have water leaks all over the place, and we end up patching sheetrock all over, and it's just.
And they were all galvanized pipes. Besides the main pipes, which are copper, they were all galvanized coming down. Galvanized pipe is not used at all in construction anymore because it leaks really bad. And with the age of these, we already seen leaks throughout the property. I mean, there's so many leaks in the units that aren't turned from that same problem, and you just don't want to keep running into that. So long term, it was a smart move.
So since we're already replumbing it, one of the things that is common in newer construction properties is they'll have a water meter. And we've done this on other property. We've installed, it's like a wireless water meter. It goes right before typically on new construction, you have a standalone heater. We've got a boiler sill. So we had to actually install 2 water heaters, one on the hot water line, one on the cold water line.
2 meters.
2 meters, right. And so that's what these holes are here. So once we finish, they're going to go up there and they're going to install the wireless meter so we can measure both the hot and cold water that they're using, bill them back 100% of their water, and we're also going to use the ratio from the hot water to determine how much of the gas they're using exactly from the boiler. So
there'll be access panels, so people they'll be able to work on them, and if people want to go look and say, no, my meter readings off, they can look into.
So what kind of wash? I think we're putting front end loaders, but we're also doing what? It's
stackable.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight, man. I feel bad for the maintenance guy. You know, once we install these, I hope they never break because.
Yeah, I mean, and then this is going to be. We're going to have shelves here for your laundry stuff, and then you're going to have this also serves as your walk-in closet. So we're going to be. Once they go in, let's hope they don't break for at least till you stop holding it.
All right, so this is our out-of-scope bathroom. Out-of-scope meaning the biggest one is the tile. When you go into the other unit, you're going to see a different type of tile. So tell me about this tile. Why is it so expensive?
Because it's popular, but the real cost in it is the labor because there's so many pieces. They're 3 by 6 versus the bigger the piece, the less labor, the less grout, the less thin set that you need. And this is a higher, each piece of this is $1.39, and you need 4 pieces, 3.5 pieces for a square foot, which brings you to about $3.50 a square foot for the material before you put any grout, thin set, or anything else in there versus what we have next door, which was in budget and completely. So it's a different thing. One of the big things that we did here, which you'll see in high-end custom homes, is instead of having a soap dish, we actually did a recessed soap dish where you can put your shampoo in there.
Oh, that's what this is right here, huh? Very cool. Very cool, I like it. So we've got let's test it out here. How much room do I have? Let's see, we still have a chrome finish here. It looks like there was a oopsie there with the fit out. So we'll get that swapped. So these units haven't been punched yet. So we're just looking for a look, see how it goes, because there's, I think you said, you got a whole other paint you're doing in here. You got a full punch still to do.
Yeah, so this unit, we were trying to be as light as possible on our texture, and because we're not replacing all the drywall in the units. Yeah. So we tested it out. We wanted to get approval on everything, which colors we're going to go with. These 2 units will be retextured and repainted for a 3rd time before they're rent ready. Yeah,
that's right, because I think we'll show you again in that room because there's more lighting and it's easier to see. And here it's a little darker, so it's just a good point. This is going to be a darker room, so maybe we don't need to focus so much on how close to the texture.
We talked about that.
Yeah, focus on that living room area because it's so much sun in there. Here, it's not as much sun, which could play to our advantage because we don't have to be as perfect.
And definitely when they built the other row of these $700,000 townhomes that are behind us, there's not going to be any sun at any time that comes through here except for the ambient light that comes out.
Very cool. So what happened in here? I remember the bathrooms actually made them feel bigger. It's the same size, but you were saying
what happened? The previous units had 24-inch vanity bases, but they had 6-inch stalls, which are fillers in bathroom cabinets. And the toilet paper holder was there, so when you were actually using the toilet, you were rubbing the toilet paper. Yeah. So what we did is we cut the stall size down so we still had the same countertop size, same cabinets, but we just moved it over 3 inches so you have more of a area to use the throne.
Yeah, there you go. And I know we're currently looking at a modern looking medicine cabinet. It's going to be recessed into the wall, and recessed for sizing, right? Because this is already a small room. We don't want to protrude.
And if we have one that is wall mounted, I mean, you're going to be over the top of this when you open your door. So I think the recessed look will be cleaner and more sleek, more done.
Yeah. All right, so let's go look at the other unit on the way out. We'll show you guys what we're talking about on the texture. Oh yeah, you can see a little bit here. So here's the old wall. If you remember on the demoed units we showed you at the very beginning, all the sheetrock was taken up to about right here. So that means all of this is brand new sheetrock. So we were trying to blend old 1967 sheetrock, textured, painted multiple times over the years to brand new sheetrock. So you can see with the light on it, it's very challenging. So you said you guys are going to hit this.
Well, what we're going to do on these units, we use a hopper and an air compressor. When we start turning our units, we'll have a company comes and all they do is spray texture. It's a big trailer, and it's a more consistent and heavy finish. So it'll be a heavier orange peel that will hide it a lot better. We'll never get 100% blend, but the layman person won't notice the difference. I will, and any other construction guy probably would, but tenant walking in is not going to know the difference in where we're at.
You know, one of the things I just noticed was on the vents. You know, it's all in the details when you're doing these value add properties, because they're, you know, you're in an old unit and you're doing your best to make it look like new. But as soon as the resident sees something old, immediately they're reminded that it's an old property, and their perception of it goes down. And so oftentimes you'll see an old vent hood that's been painted over multiple times.
Yeah, or they're rusted because the humidity, they sweat really bad here because of our temperatures and our climate, and they'll have rust underneath there. Even when you paint them, if you paint over it, just painting it white, it doesn't have that clean look on it. It doesn't have that smooth finish.
And how much is that just to replace those? I mean, that's not a lot of money.
In these units, it's probably $12,
yeah.
14.
So you spend $12, you get a brand new looking vent, and you know, it makes a huge difference. Versus you walk in here and you see a painted one that's got some black stuff on it. It just looks dirty.
And then even if it's brand new paint on there, you're going to see all the layers of paint.
The texture.
An apartment turn, there's a texture. Normally an apartment turn, someone might come in here and hit it with a brush instead of taking it down, spraying it with spray. If you spray it with spray paint, they'll always stay flat. That's not the case when you're turning it on.
Maintenance guys never do that. No, they're not.
They're going to paint it on top and just keep going.
With whatever paint they got in their bucket.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's go check out that other test unit. It's going to have a different look, and let's see which one we choose.